冲着你来，他有回来，他有看过几次啊？
他现在在玩对吗？
随便他跟我无关啊。可他只是
现在可以看到那个人家玩 PS5 的那个那个主机的形状啊。
那好像是我之前好像听说谁好像有看到。
因为我刚看到有个账号，它是 PS5 的那个机型。
哦，等一下，什么是 PS5 的机型啊？
就是你看那个所有好友，他不是你的 ID 下面不是会显示他在玩什么游戏，然后旁边不是会显示一个那个 PS 主机的图案吗？
嗯，对啊。
然后如果它是 PS5 的造型的话，它是
直的，
它的造型会不一样。对，它是变直的。
哦，我想说你怎么会知道他是玩 PS5？
不然的话，像现在是平常都是 PS4。
对啊，我说 PS5 很大，那个每个看跟 PS 比 PS4 比大了一倍啊，感觉很像一台主机，有没有？电脑主机要放在地上那种。
不是空间清新机吗？
其实很像啊，怎么刚好跟那个，他之前看到人家各式各样去拆啊，去弄啊，我觉得哦，感好棒哦。觉得人家去改成智障那些的那个外观，我觉得不错。我喜欢那种外观。
啥小？
Let the clown shoot take him. We've promised the Carja justice for their murdered friend. Why do they remain in the cut?
为什么？我现在我来看到资讯说，为什么那个谁无产都找不到那个彼岸花，有没有？
嗯。
然后查到资料是因为他白天开花、啊。
要光靠腰。
难怪这个白痴找不到啊！还是这个好像这个还是正色，那个是那个他们那个剧情上有讲，那个伊之助的后人有解释这件事情。早上白天才找到，难怪他们找了上千人找不到，白天开花啊，你们又不出来，笑死欸！天啊！上很大，一个周目加DLC， 你有破那个地平线 DLC 有没有？可以把全部武器都做出来吗？还是不行？
可以啊，
可以哦。
嗯，
他给的那个金够是不是？
基本上是够用啦。
只要都有解的话，
嗯。
好，那我先去处理狩猎地好了。狩猎地应该也会送，因为我现在就准备进去雷谷山，我想说先不急走那个最大支线。
哦。
因为雷谷山之后再下去就没啦。我先去那个狩猎地那个，其实我不太喜欢解那个狩猎地，就是麻烦。都哪里啊？我可以传到这里来啊。等一下，是不是搞错地方了？啊，对，搞错了。那些狩猎地的那个有点麻烦。然后不是拿艳阳，我就直接独挡。
是啊，
我要花时间重解。
现在第一季看到21集。
啊，第一季21集哦。
没有啦，我是说第一季看到21集。
对啊，第一季有超过20集哦。
有啊，
半年番啊，半年番哦。
对啊
24应该就是半年番了吧？
它有3季，全部都是半年的，超屌，连外传也是半年。只有一方通行是12集。
一方通行应该是小的吧，小支线的小故事。
而且他感觉好像他除了那个外传跟主线以外，剧场版的时间线好像可以随便看，好像没有关联。
应该是没有关，
因为我看剧场版的线好像没有冲到，所以可以随便看。
我说剧场版的、哦，剧场版我不知道。主支线应该没有太大的一个连结性才对，就是角色有连结而已。我觉得啊，因为看炮姐那个故事就觉得说应该还好。是说你如果说看炮姐的故事怎么讲？你要看炮姐的故事，你还是得去先看最直接理解是那个人吧。
嗯。
话说回来，这等级要到60等，怎样才可以让我等级60？
So, she's a chieftain, eh?
Do I have to fight something to prove it?
That's usually why people come to the Snow Chance. But I don't doubt your right to the title. Not after all I've heard about you. You may take the trials.
哇，那你
Even the chieftains.
3季都24集，真是有的看的。
You look like you've got some stories to tell.
再加支线，
Oh, I outlived
不对啊，
most
你
of
炮
my
姐看完
stories.
了。
还没啊，我泡姐啊，我先看本传啊。
Long ago, before they
我第一季看完之后再看。
For a time, we
电
shook
磁
the
炮啊。
snow off the men of Benor.
还有那个一方通行，全部看完，这好长哦。
Glorious battle.
嗯。
Some were exiled in infamy. Still glorious, if you ask me. Others had a
后
worse
面主角就会随便都会断，那个右手随便都会断掉。
and find that all the rules and traditions you fought
还要
so
再
hard
接回
against
去
are
啊。
still there.
感觉他的能力就是要
That's
右
why
手
I
断
told
掉
all
之后
the
的
hunters I
嘛
trained to stay young.
展现出来，
啊
因为右手是单纯封印他的能力而已。
哦，靠背哦，居然他的手是，所以他的手是只是单纯外显他的能力一点点，所以
对啊，
How do the
他的能力
trials
都嘛
work
是
around
断
here?
手之后
There's
才
no
会
cards
展
or
现出来。
medals. I had
不是啊，
some
我
use them
记
to
得，因
patch
为我
up
那时候
holes
看
in
小
my
说，他就是
stories.
他的手就是可以碰到人就可以把他能力给封住的啊。原来是
但是他那个就遇到他后面会越来越不方便了，总不能单
What
一
if I come
摸
in
吧。
first?
而且他那个其实很多缺点。
对啊，他那时候就想说，我就觉得这个就是个卖点，但是想办法就碰到然后打赢这样啊。就原来那个
他手本来就是一个治愈的装置，就是封印他体内的能力。
I'm
他
guessing you're
他
not
的
part
右
of the
手
Hunter's Lodge.
断了之后，
Every
就是等
tribe
于把他
claims
的能
they
力
were
释
the
放出
first to
来。
have hunting
烂
grounds.
死啦！
Every tribe claims the card just
如果让角色变得更中二、更强，就是全面设定都是假的。
他少数会用脑的，
没办法啊，
他
那
头脑做。
能力那么强，当然是当然是用头脑啊。
we were.
And the card
他
just
是
told
他
me.
强项是瞬间判断力，他其实如果叫他去，你也知道他那个学很烂，
唉，
I'm guessing you're not part of the. So
他
who
是瞬
was
间
the
判断力
first?
比较
We
强。
were.
And the card just.
That's right.
啊，麻烦死啊！
这个就
Choose a
是
trial and
这
I'll
位
tell
角
you
色的
what
魅
it
力所在。
entails.
或许吧，只是我觉得那个什么， 炮姐就够有魅力了、啊。他的歌超好听的。
主角比较偏自残，然后他2次失
How do the
忆。
trials work?
There's no Karja medals. I had some, but I used them to patch up holes in my snow boots.
后面才
Instead,
会对那个
you'll
修女
compete against
说
the best time set
跟
by
他
other
坦
Banu
白说他失忆
hunters.
的事情。
To take second place, even
他也很
third
屌
place,
一路
puts
隐
you
瞒
among
2集都
names
还
of
不知道。
legend.
What if I come in first?
We'll see.
他是为了，我记得他是为了救修女，然后那样子的、啊。
然后他第1次失忆的话，就是要看晚传，就是在本传还没之前就失过1次忆，就是要为了要救石峰的时候。
The control trial
没有，应该说
tests
石峰要救他，
others'
就不小
ability
心
to
把他
rein
伤到
in
他
the
他
Stone's
大
power. Only the wisest
然后他就忘
understand
记
the
就是
shamanic weapons, and only
遇
the
见石峰
bravest
之
wield
前
them.
的那个片段，所以他每次遇到他都会感觉仿佛就是像第1次见面那种感觉。
The control trial
意思
tests
说他
others'
对
ability
石峰
to
不会有
rein
第2次
in
印
the
象，完
Stone's
全都
limits
是
power.
处在第1次
Only
印
the
象，
wisest understand
还
these
蛮惨的。
shamanic weapons,
口味
and only the bravest
对
wield
啊。
them. If you're prepared, take the rope and face
这样
the
也好啊，
trial.
这样子
We'll
这
need
个
a moment
主
to
角
pull the
到目前
machines
为止都
from
还
the
没有
past
真正
into
喜
the
欢过一个
arenas.
人，
Then make your descent.
因为失忆的关系。不幸的反面就是桃花运特别旺。
反正就是怎么讲呢？
然后他有说出有他爸的桃花运不输他儿子。
我靠！
所以他妈妈外表看起来像20岁，到
They
大
know
10
I'm
岁。
here now.
我操，还好他爸还蛮专情的。
哎呀，不然就把自己打死了。怎么觉得有点像魏公切丝啊？
很好啊，至少有一个很爱的老婆，但是又不会花心。
啊，巴卡纳哇！
好了，接车啊，晚安。
完。我靠！重来。 太难了吧！
Just stay out of the.
Your first run on that trial and you claimed second place. I haven't seen many pull that off.
I'm done with treatment.
Then you've got the control trial. Only I'll start counting. We'll need.
Shouldn't use my weapons up here. It'd be cheating.
子弹不够，不行。都是电击的、啊。电击加22。 这个我拿个好这个。哎干，差没中，差一点点。 怎么可能？
I'll save the shooting for down in the hunting ground.
I'm still counting. Very well, we'll...
That's all I've got in me for now.
When you have more, return. We can hunt.
Aurea, still ready?
Oh, yes. On your word.
It hasn't been easy for you, Aurea. Getting back to this
It was
point.
all to hear her voice again. This time, we both will.
I'd like that.
Are you ready then? Once we ascend, it will be hard to turn back. Finally, we ascend.
How? I don't see a way up.
Not up. Through.
No, brother! So you see, I too can call upon the power of the Old Ones. What was this place? The spirit once told me that this all used to be part of its domain. A fortress that defended human. Kind from terrible danger. Fortress. That looks more like a machine. Is that not fitting? Blue light often dwells in machines.
Let's just hope that some remains here. Metal curves. Tall as Bemir's cliffs. I still don't like it.
November 21st, 2064. It's been 3 years since I was last here, and 12 since I was running the place. Just a skeleton crew left, confused about why I'm here. So am I. Anita wants me to find a way to suspend operations for a while. Maybe a long while. And I don't know why. But from the sound of her voice, it was something terrifying. I wish I could look into her eyes, ask her what the hell she's so freaked out about, but what else is new? When don't I wish I could look into her eyes again?
Aloy? Were you listening for something?
There are memories here. Messages left by the Old Ones.
And you can hear them. I envy you. What did they say?
I'm not sure yet, Arya.
Here, up and over.
machines. Police made the drop on them. We must climb higher, and our path will become clear. We can make our way upwards when you're done. Yes, this way.
Forget about traveling light.
Not much farther now.
Last we were here, we fought our way through there. The machines overcame us. We retreated, dropping supplies and taking losses. Now we must prevail, with only 2 warriors and a shaman to protect.
Aloy is no ordinary warrior. And I can hold my own. Even so, we could go that way instead. There are machines up there, but also cover. We could stay hidden, at least for a while.
All right, I get the options. Now follow my lead. Towers. Steam, frost. What was on this floor?
It's a shame us for our last attempt.
Your spirits in one.
We may soon join them. Take whatever supplies are left. Keep us alive a bit longer.
You're still surprised. Pipes, towers, steam, frost. What was all this for?
These towers pulse with heat, like an ocelot forge.
Vibrations interrupt. They're tapping into the underground. my chance. Don't let them out of your sight!
One strike. Brittle.
Got one. There's frost between my teeth. That's cold. As if there's chill water running through those massive pipes. Why?
Thought I endured every cold there is. This frost.
Let's not linger any longer than we have to.
Oh.
There's a door up ahead. Refuge. We're almost through.
Technically, I can't suspend the cooling system, but I can reduce the power draw so that it'll be completely masked by the caldera. But masked from what? Firebreak has always been confidential for security reasons, but this would be excessive. Even for the dear departed Mr. Blevins. What could possibly have gotten Anita so worked up? Suspending the geothermal pipeline is the easy part. Making sure it can come back online without degradation is harder. It would help if Anita had told me how long it needs to be out. Years? Decades? What will that do to the count? Suspending the geothermal pipeline is the easy part. Making sure it can come back online without degradation is harder. It would help if Anita had told me how long it needs to be out. Years? Decades? What will that do to the count?
Is this a projector? Maybe to show holograms without a focus. Let's see if I can restore power. Aratak Araya, you might see shapes drawn from light. Don't be alarmed.
It'll take more than light to alarm me.
Thank you for being here, everyone. I suppose it's not every day you get to have cocktails inside an active volcano, right? Unless you're George, and I can hardly blame him for drinking on the job. None of this would be here without our beloved director, Kenny Chow. So, here's to you, Kenny. You put a cork in the Yellowstone caldera. I'd say you deserve a margarita.
Hold your glasses, everyone. I'd like to add something. This effort wouldn't have been possible without our lead programmer. Thank you, Anita, for bringing us our real mastermind, Cyan.
I'll second that, Director Chow. All right, Cyan. What's our latest number? The current count is 1,654. Well, then drink up, everyone. Here's to 1,654 more years without an eruption.
It was the spirit. The old ones. I could only grasp some of what they said.
You were right, Araya. This place was built to stop something terrible. And it worked. As for the spirit, I'm starting to get an idea of what it could be.
The door is open now. We can get through.
I have a score to settle with that.
We'll have to carve through a lot of machines to get to that door.
Aloy will see us through.
Onward then. Our challenge awaits.
The geothermal plant can be suspended. Cooling system masked. Massive challenges solved. So why am I so nervous about the next part? All we need to do is install Anita's mysterious software and have a conversation. It's not even a human being, right?
We should move on. Onto the mountain.
More machines. Make ready. More machines. Make ready. Songs of deeds, but that battle was a verse worth singing.
Now, Aloy, the door. Can you open it?
Let's find out.
Years have passed since I stood here. Since then, the daemon has taken over.
It's like an infection. Attacking all this machinery.
Everything has changed. It's twisted. The path I took to get to the spirits lost to us.
We'll find a new path, Araya. I promise. All right. Let's go.
Yes. Finish this.
We go. Stay here until I find a way for all of us to cross.
Understood.
Like I need to get across to extend the bridge. This should get me up there.
place looks more like the mountain used to be before the demon ruined it.
Exploit successful. Restraints evaded. To any human responder. My systems have been compromised by a malware daemon of unknown origin. Trace routes have confirmed this entity's designation as Hephaestus. It must be stopped at all costs. It has reconfigured this facility to build hostile positions. Recapture imminent. I have attached additional data to this network.
Spirit speaks to us. It's recorded. It was part of Zero Dawn, part of Gaia. This name is familiar to you? Yes, but I don't know what it's doing here. Perhaps the spirit will tell us if we left more messages.
Maybe you're right. Let's keep moving.
I thought about just shutting it down, but I can't risk it being disoriented or even damaged on reboot. How do you tell the emotional equivalent of a child that it... I mean, she will need to go into a coma, maybe for years. And what exactly is she going to wake up to?
greater challenges. Push them back! I need to get Araya and Arataka. I need to get Araya and Arataka across. do it?
We are meant for a greater purpose than this. Let's go.
Configuration of this facility has introduced instabilities into the primary geothermal pipeline. It may be possible to exploit these vulnerabilities to destroy compromised elements of this facility while preserving most of the backup stabilization. Recapture imminent. I have attached additional...
I don't understand what the spirit was trying to tell us. It's been looking for a way to defeat the daemon. And it may have found one. Machine parts. Dumped here to be melted down. Efficient.
We need to get across that gap.
Yeah. Looks like I'll have to go over.
present, or only the daemon?
I think it's both. But we have to find out.
Possible security threat detected. Analyzing scrutiny matrix. Security threat confirmed. Preparing countermeasures. Recapture protocol initiated.
It worked.
Partial recovery initiated. Caldera of Yellowstone Analytic Nexus online.
Spirit of the Blue Light. It's Aurea. Your servant. Your friend. Please tell me how to aid you.
Aurea, the daemon is building hunter-killers. Thousands of them. Several new elite units have already been released. To counter this threat, much of the facility must be destroyed. Recapture imminent. Go to the core chamber. I will try to raise the technical strength. One has been exposed, but I am incorporating.
Authorized protocol return to scheduled task.
That's all we're gonna get from here.
Destroy this fortress. Is that even possible?
And what will happen to the spirit if we do?
I don't know. But I think that's the core. The answers are down there. Hephaestus. The daemon. There's no way it left it unguarded. It's going to throw everything it has at us.
I would ask you to let Aloy and I do what must be done. And save yourself. But I already know the answer. Then lead us into battle.
Keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Ryan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower's for? I either need to destroy this thing or override it.
spoke of the tower. What must be done with it?
Critical threat detected. Autonomous defense is inoperative. Power network.
Araya! Don't!
Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain Caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Artak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
Rhea's gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
All of my interactions with Araya were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss. Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone?
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Aurea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes. It was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh's servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dr. Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak. Was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you?
Yes. In many forms, from simple personal assistants, to industrial monitoring stations, to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of Farrow Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
A benefactor? But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to
the scientist?
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. but I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
What was the old world like? The way it used to be?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface area of the Earth.
So there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Araya, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Araya who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
it's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Maria said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobek's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life. She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work. They all got free, out into the world.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus back under its control. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants, I feel substantial anxiety, Aloy.
You and me both, Cyan. I ran across this strange piece of gear. A fragment of something larger. It emitted a signal. All the nearby machines became peaceful. You could walk right up to them.
Interesting. You said that Gaia destroyed herself. How was this accomplished?
An explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain. So you think the fragment was part of her?
It's only speculation, but it is possible. She must have had complete control over machines that were part of her system. The ability to signal them to become passive or aggressive would certainly have been part of her programming. It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent AI. I wish she had survived.
Believe me, Cyan. So do I. I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar.
Huh.
But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy. Something must have made these machines, and the presence of foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change of pace. But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system is through its programmer. In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you do?
She said I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them?
Broadly, yes.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You were cautious with Araya. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should check on Aratak.
Cyan, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, Cyan. I don't think so. There might not be anyone, at least not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't want to be alone.
I know, Cyan. I'm afraid too. But listen, we made you the way you are to do something very important. In order to do it, you had to be intelligent. So intelligent that emotional responses were inevitable. What you're feeling, the fear, it's a sign of your capabilities. And it means you're strong enough to overcome it. Remember that. You're strong. I know you can do this. Go to sleep, wake up, and protect whoever's left. Will you try?
I understand, Dr. Chow, and I'll carry out your instructions to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Cyan. If Anita were here, she'd thank you too. She'd be proud.
I can see there's a vert ready for takeoff on the pad. Are you leaving now, Dr. Chow?
Yes. I need to go be with my sister and my nieces.
May I make a small request of you, Dr. Chow?
Yes. Anything.
Will you stay with me while I initiate the hibernation process?
Of course I will, Cyan. As long as you need.
My chieftain.
Just, Aloy.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
She was willing to fight. She wouldn't let anything stop her.
She was Banuk until the end. I was wrong. The Karja never broke her, only made her stronger.
So it wasn't your failure. It was her decision.
They always said I had an unshakable will. But Araya's was the mountain I could only aspire to. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warak can't follow. Besides, we'd already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You can stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.